The movie opens with a glimpse of the bleak world of the story, a dystopian future where humanity lives in fear of titans, giant humanoid monsters that roam the land and feed on human flesh. Humanity is confined with a single city surrounded by massive walls, creating the inner and outer limits to protect themselves from the titans. These are creatures that appeared out of nowhere and started devouring humans, leaving only a small fraction of the population left to fight for their survival. The story follows the adventures of Aaron and his childhood friends Mikasa and Armin, who are living inside the walled city that has been built to protect the citizens from the titans. As they join him in this journey of self-discovery, which happens to include fighting giant scary-ass monsters and uncovering dark government secrets, our hero Aaron, because seriously, only heroes get this kind of opening shot, is a hot-headed young man with a deep hatred for titans and the big walls, which are coincidentally the same two things stopping him from living the life he dreams about. After kicking around an old bomb and scaring his friends, Aaron uncovers a painting of the ocean, and after looking at it for a while, they agree that it must be a beautiful place, and they would like to see it one day. So Aaron does what any sane person with a dream does. He lets it cloud his better judgment, and he drags his two best friends down to the wall in hopes that they can escape to a better world on the other side, under the assumption that after 100 years, the titans on the other side have all starved to death. When the worst happens and a colossal titan breaches the outer wall, it's a devastating blow to the people of the city. The wall was their first line of defense against the bloodthirsty giants, and its breach is a symbol of the titans' overwhelming power. As the dust and debris settle, we get our first glimpse at the smaller titans that follow the breach's wake. They are equally terrifying, depicted as towering, menacing monsters with their exaggerated haunting features as they swarm the city and begin devouring its inhabitants. The scene is an intense and gripping start to the movie, establishing the bleak world and the brutal nature of the titans. For Aaron, Mikasa, and Armin, the chaos and destruction are a wake-up call. They realize that the walls, which had once seemed invincible, are not enough to protect them from the titans' onslaught. As they witness their loved ones being killed before their eyes, they are forced to confront the harsh reality of their situation, that even after 100 years, the monsters are still out there. Panic ensues as the citizens scramble to evacuate and military personnel mobilize to defend the city. The streets are filled with people running in all directions, screaming and crying as they try to escape the titans. The military is shown deploying their weapons and equipment to fight back against the titans. As the titans begin to attack the city, chaos ensues. Buildings crumble, fires break out, and the streets are filled with debris. The titans towering over the panicked citizens start to pick them off one by one, swiping at them with their massive hands and biting them with their razor-sharp teeth. The violence and destruction is graphic, with the camera not shying away from showing the carnage of the attack. Aaron, Mikasa, and Armin are caught up in the chaos as titans attack the city, killing civilians and wreaking havoc in the streets. The friends try to make their way to safety, but the sheer size and strength of the titans is overwhelming, and our trio soon find themselves being separated. As Aaron and Mikasa try to find shelter in a nearby church, Mikasa notices a baby left lying on the streets at risk of being trampled. She quickly runs to save the baby, but in doing so, she is left to face the titan alone as Aaron helplessly watches from inside the church. With no way to defend herself, Mikasa lowers her head in defeat as she holds the baby close to her chest. The emotional impact of the scene is palpable, with the actors delivering raw and powerful performances that capture the horror and desperation of the situation. Cut to 2 years later, and the military has moved everyone into the inner walls to protect themselves, but it's very clear that if action isn't taken quickly, the remaining people will starve to death, as they were forced to evacuate the farmlands that lay in the outer circle. They have to fix the walls. The plan is to collapse the tops of the wall so it fills in the breach. This section will be lower than the rest of the wall, but it will still be higher than the titans, giving the humans a chance to kill the titans that are now trapped inside the outer wall, so that they may eventually move back into the farmlands and properly repair the breach. Aaron and Armin have joined the military, hoping to fight back against the titans and protect their fellow citizens. They quickly discover that life in the military is not so easy, as they are pushed to their physical and emotional limits in their training, but they are determined to become strong enough to fight the titans and protect the people they care about. The commander introduces the weapons expert Hans, who shows off a new grappling device and ends up accidentally killing soldiers that are watching her presentation. They prepare to leave at night and have to remain very quiet as the titans are sensitive to sounds. The wall opens and the armored vehicles drive out into the darkness. As they get further away from the wall, the caravan stops when someone notices the movement in the distance. When the soldiers exit the vehicles to scout the area, they find that it was just a normal herd of cattle. Hyena hears a baby in the darkness, and despite the plausibility of a human baby being alive in the titan-infested farmlands, she separates from the group to go investigate. Eren quickly follows her to attempt to protect her and the baby, hoping to amend his past failure of protecting Mikasa and the baby. Suddenly, the girl is covered in a clear liquid, and we look up to see what I found to be the most horrifying part of the movie, a giant Titan baby that tries to eat them. The noise startles the scouts outside, and in an attempt to shut everyone up by talking over them loudly, the captain is snatched up by a giant hand that was hiding behind the wall. Realizing that the Titans have awoken, the commander dips out, leaving the scouts to fend for themselves. Seeking shelter, they run to the nearest building and soon find themselves surrounded. When Captain Shikishima comes out and strikes a monster in his weak spot on the back of the neck and killing it, the mysterious woman appears and does the same. As a giant falls, the woman turns around and reveals herself to be none other than Mikasa. Mikasa was recruited into the elite scout regiment, which is responsible for exploring beyond the walls and fighting the Titans head-on. The scout regiment is known for its high mortality rate, as its members face constant danger and are often the first to engage with Titans. For Mikasa, who is already an accomplished fighter, joining the scout regiment is a chance to test her skills and prove her worth, causing her to leave behind her old life. As Eren processes that Mikasa is alive, she ignores him and turns to leave with Captain Shikishima. And it becomes clear that the past 2 years have changed them all. One of the teammates, Jean, blames Eren for attracting the Titans and putting everyone in danger. Shikishima and Eren get into an argument about Eren's hatred for the Titans. But Shikishima points out that it was the humans that put themselves behind the walls and that it's up to Eren to let go of his fears and fight to regain his freedom. As he ponders this, he comes across Mikasa, who is sitting at a broken piano, perhaps a symbol of her past, as she is no longer the girl Eren once knew. When Shikishima arrives and the two share an apple in front of Eren to show their affection in the weirdest "I took your girl from you" power play I've ever seen, heartbroken, Eren ends up in a room with Hyena as a couple in the background waste no time setting the mood and getting busy. Hyena takes this opportunity to try to seduce Eren and get him to join the family, when the world's biggest peeping Tom is caught watching them through a wall before snatching Hyena and eating her. We then see that many more Titans are approaching to attack the base. Remembering the conversation he had with Shikishima earlier, Eren rushes to attack the Titans, but has a hard time controlling the grappling device. He manages to gain control long enough to kill one Titan before he hurls himself into the mouth of another that bites off his leg. But don't worry, because our hero has just enough plot armor to substitute his lost limb, and when he sees that Armin is just about to be eaten by a Titan, he throws himself into the giant's mouth and pulls out his friend, before promptly being swallowed and kinda digested. But it's not long before Eren emerges like a butterfly from a chrysalis, tearing the Titan that ate him apart, and then continuing to straight up murder all the other Titans, as he himself has transformed into a giant Titan. Eren's discovery that he can transform into a Titan is a game changer for the story, as it puts some of the power back into the hands of the humans. However, Eren's powers also make him a target for suspicion and fear, as the military leadership is unsure of how he acquired his abilities. I will say, one of the highlights of the movie is the special effects, which are pretty unique. The Titans themselves are a sight to behold. They're just giant nude figures with disturbing exaggerated features, towering over human characters with an eerie sense of grace. Their movements are fluid and unpredictable, making them all the more terrifying. To put it plainly, this movie is wild, and that's only the first half of it.